Action Station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock, it is time for Damage Control. Joe Reichel is in the studio to answer your questions about that do-it-yourself home repair project that you are stuck at. And the phone number to call in to ask that question is 622-WOCA, 622-9622. Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
How are things with you? 50% chance of rain today.
We've had a lot of rain. Yeah. A lot of these spring showers, pop-up storms, lightning. Yesterday, for example, yesterday morning we had another tree on a house. So.
Did you really? Wow.
Yep.
It happens more often than I realize.
I've got to post the pictures of that. Fortunately, it was just a huge limb that caught the edge of the house. Not a lot of damage, but
that's a close call.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they do happen. They do happen a lot more than people realize, and that's why our week's blog, this week's blog, which I encourage everybody to sign up for. That way you can get the helpful tips and techniques and do-it-yourself type ideas every once in a while. But this week's blog is talking about the cutting of trees and safety and why it's not necessarily a good idea to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So a lot of danger involved in cutting trees and whatnot. So.
I know. I mean, it's you don't realize how heavy a tree is.
No, you really don't.
How heavy is a tree? Do you know?
It depends on the size of the tree.
Yeah.
And the type of the tree.
Dumb question, but typically a big, tall pine tree's got to be a few tons, right?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of weight there. Lot of weight, a lot more than you realize. So when that, and especially when it's hitting a house, and there's different, the pivot points and whatnot. So as you're cutting it, even professionals, sometimes more damage can happen as they're cutting it because things shift and the weight moves as they're cutting it. So. It's it's a real skill and a dangerous type of job.
It's the every time I hear one of these stories, it's the thought that you need an arborist or some other tree surgeon, specialist to come out and
always hire professionals and make sure that they're licensed professionals.
But I mean before the damage, just. Get the trees looked at and make sure it's not going to happen.
Get them checked out, and that doesn't, that's not 100% guarantee, but they can check the health of a tree. They can, make sure that, and with a tree, it's everything from the roots below the ground up.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, as a homeowner, we look at a house or look at a tree, and we think, well, that looks healthy. It looks good, but trees require the maintenance just like your yard does, your grass. So fertilization and making sure that that's a healthy tree from the ground all the way to the top is very important. A lot of times these trees are hollow in the inside and you don't really know it, but there's telltale signs that someone that knows what they're looking at can spot. And it's just like looking at a person. A lot of times we can't tell the health of a person, but a doctor looking at you, they can do the examination and say, hey, you've got this going on and you've got that going on, and an arborist is the same. They can do the same type thing.
I guess if you see a lot of chipmunks crawling out of it, there must be a hollow area.
If you have chipmunks, especially here in Florida, there could be a problem unless you're at Disney. In Disney, where the chipmunks are?
I think so, yeah.
Alvin and Simon Theodore?
No, that's a different cartoon company. I don't know who made those. This would be Chip and Dale.
Chip and Dale, that's right. If you have Chip and Dale, you have a problem. If you're not
the male
Disney.
burlesque dancers, isn't it? Chip and Dale?
It could be. I don't know. So, it's very dangerous, especially if you're going to go out there and even just trimming some limbs off your home or your house. Not only where those limbs could fall, but people get hurt all of the time by climbing a ladder and the disasters that happen, the do-it-yourselfers, and even within our own family, we had someone get very hurt, seriously hurt, by trimming limbs. So be very, very careful if you're going to do that, if you're not going to hire a professional. But anytime you're on a ladder, it's dangerous. Ladders are, in our industry, in the construction industry, ladders are the number one safety concern as far as the amount of falls and whatnot that can happen. So,
I had somebody ask me one time, do you want the ladder or the step stool? And I said the ladder, and they gave me the step stool.
Sometimes people don't know.
They just heard me.
It's a little ladder.
Just heard me wrong.
But even, something as simple as doing paint, and paint is something that's very important for your house, and making sure that you have a good coat of paint on the exterior house that keeps it not only waterproof, but also keeps rotten wood from happening. If you have wood on the house, keeping it painted. So homeowners are out there painting all the time, and just for general upkeep, and it's very easy to fall. Just lose your balance and fall, or whatever. And
that's the kind of damage you definitely don't want. Is damage to your own body.
Exactly.
You can avoid it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the last thing that you would want.
Can't fix that with a screwdriver and a hammer.
No, you sure can't. So this past weekend, Thursday through Saturday, I was down at the Southeastern Builders Conference.
Oh yeah. How'd that go?
It was.
Did you enjoy yourself?
It was really good.
Yeah.
Had a great time. A lot of products on display, as well as different how-to seminars and whatnot as far as the industry and ideas, even up and coming trends. For the building industry. So that was it was
anything
very...
that's going to be like good news for us. Like we'll have somebody posted on Facebook asking if anybody's tried these solar powered fans. Mm-hmm. Is this a new thing, and does it mean
solar powered fans have been out for a long time, and they're a great product. They do a wonderful job, and I'm assuming you're talking about for the attic. In the attic?
I wasn't really sure.
Yeah.
I clicked on the link and it took me to a place on Amazon, I think.
Okay. It's a great idea to use them. It helps clear out the hot air in an attic and keeps that, keeps fresh air moving through there, and so your house doesn't get as hot as quickly. And I didn't really see anything there this weekend that was dealing with that. There's a lot of technology for homes that's up and coming, and a lot of homes that newer homes, they're starting to consider or put things in that make them more of a smart home. So even as far as facial recognition for your entryway.
That's what I need. But then I can't grow a beard, right? Because I won't know who I am. You have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Yes, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, Joe, when I first come down to Florida here, you drive through the historical areas, like Fort King and that, Seven Sisters and all those old buildings built back in the 1800s. They're all wood. They had termites way back then, but they didn't have Termidor and all that other stuff. Well, what did they do to protect those buildings from getting eaten up by termites back then?
That is a great question, and I don't know.
That is a good question. I wonder what they did.
I don't know what they did. I've never even thought about it. I guess we'll probably have to do some...
You'd think more of the structures would have been on a concrete or block or anything other than wood, because that's probably the easiest thing for a termite to nail. Right.
But I know they didn't really do much concrete construction back in those days when that was happening. But, and I'm sure that's why a lot of the homes nowadays, or these older homes, pretty much every week you go through and you can look at a house that's had to be tinted. So
yeah.
I guess we're up against the break. Time for the break. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. And you are welcome to call. However, the number is 622-9622. The break is about 2 minutes long. So if you call right now, you'll be on hold about 2 minutes. The number again, 622-9622. We'll be right back with Joe Reichel and Damage Control after this. The
weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunshine mixing with clouds today with a thunderstorm around this afternoon and early tonight. Today's high 88 to 92. Partly to mostly cloudy later tonight, though 74 to 78. Tomorrow, clouds and some sun with a thunderstorm or two around in the afternoon and evening, the high 90 to 94. And Thursday, times of sun and clouds with a couple of afternoon thunderstorms, high 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Hi, Danny Warfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
WWWOCA, WWWOCA.
If you want to avoid getting ripped off and put more money in your pocket, then join me, Clark Howard, every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA, The Source.
12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Joe Reichel is here from Damage Control Services. Remember, they are your go-to guys if you have damage to your home. And my suggestion is always to get their phone number like on a magnet, because they have them. They have magnets from the business card, and you put it in your refrigerator, which I have 2 of them on my fridge, one for me, one for anybody who might need it. Because when you hear about somebody, if one of your neighbors has a tree on his house, they might not know who to call, and that one phone number will help you out. So,
and that's typically what we find when a disaster happens. A lot of times, homeowners don't know who to call, what to do.
Right.
They have no idea. So
do you find yourself, in addition to giving information about repairing the damage, also are you like their go-to guy for like insurance? Like, not that you would be the end all, but could you lead them to the right people, or how does that work?
If they were to need insurance, or you mean through the process? Or
my question would be, how do I fix this? How do I report this to my insurance company? It's not like a car accident where you. Well, maybe it is like a car accident.
It's very similar to a car accident. And that's where, a lot of times they don't really know the process or the steps that they need to go through. So we are that type of a trusted advisor for them through this process. And, a lady called this morning, as a matter of fact, and she had a flood in her house, and she was referred to us through her agent. Through her insurance agent. We went out there, took a look at it. They have removed the carpet. They have put a few fans in the house, but the water was in the house for up to 4 days. It's wet 4 feet up the walls.
Wow.
A lot of water.
Where was this?
here in town.
How come it took 4 days for the water
They
to
were
go
out
down?
of town. They were out of town, and they had a flood inside the house.
And it was 4 feet deep?
No. The water went up the drywall.
Oh, I see. It crept up. Okay.
Yeah, water will wick up the drywall and get that
oh my
wet.
gosh.
So, extensive water damage in the house, and they don't really. She didn't really understand the process. So her insurance adjuster's coming out, and he wanted to make sure that everything was dried, and so she's got us coming out there, even though they did all of the previous steps.
Right.
She's got us coming out now to finish drying it out, get it, continue drying it out. So.
Wow.
A lot of times people don't understand that. They don't know that step or the process, or even if their insurance will cover the disaster.
Right.
And that's why, one of the things that I always preach, and I hope people take it to heart, is find out what your insurance covers, no matter what it is. If it's your auto insurance or your life insurance, speak with your agent. Make sure that they're explaining to you, going through and answering all of your questions, because, those what ifs, you're not left in the dark.
And you have a phone call, Joe. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Hey, good morning. Given that some thought to the fellow's question about the older homes and the termites.
Yes.
I believe that in today's world, we got termites like Formosa and all these that came from other countries that they probably didn't have back in them days. And I believe a lot of the construction was hardened pine, a lot of turpentine in it.
Yes.
And a lot of them didn't have interior and exterior walls, just exterior walls only. And, of course, that would reduce the hiding places for them. So I think that probably explains a little bit of it.
Those are all, great points. And that's true that the construction methods, as far as that hardened pine, that with a lot of sap in that wood, it definitely, and even today is hardened to the point where a lot of times you can't cutting
have a nail in it.
Yeah, or even trying to cut it, it'll just dull the blade so quickly. So I did a Google search on older homes and how they used to protect it, and during the break, and I really couldn't find anything on that. It'd probably be something you'd have to ask a professional in the field as far as what the history of it is.
Yeah, right.
But you're probably 100% right as far as the different constructing methods, for sure.
I enjoy your show. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for the call.
So I have a question. The water goes up 4 feet in the wall. It's two questions, really. I mean, does it affect the electrical outlets? They're all under 4 feet. Does it affect them?
It can.
Okay, and
the water wasn't 4 feet deep, so
right.
Pretty much when the water gets in that drywall, and that drywall will just wicks up the drywall, so it's not really affecting the actual outlets or the electrical.
So the other question is, do you literally replace the whole drywall or just the bottom portion?
Probably be able to, and really each situation is different. But we'll probably just be able to take out 4 foot up to the 4 foot line and then replace it from there.
Okay. Because you wouldn't want to keep that. You wouldn't want to dry it out and keep it. It would be weakened, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And, if drywall gets wet and you can dry it out quickly, even if it's damp and you can dry it out quickly, a lot of times you don't have to replace it. But after it's been wet for an extended period of time, it is needing replaced.
And what was the problem? What was leaking in the house?
It was the toilet continued to overflow.
Wow.
They weren't home.
Wow.
So.
Just goes to show you need either a smart house where you can kind of check on things from.
Well, and and that goes back to there's new products out there that not necessarily new, but they've been out there for a while. But you can put it on your water supply line, and if it continues to run to a certain amount of point, it'll just shut off.
Just turn it off. Oh wow.
Yeah. So
that's a good idea.
There is lots and lots of new technology that's out there, even the video surveillance in your homes, and where you can turn everything off and on by the the touch of a button on your smartphone. So.
Right.
There's a lot of really cool products out there. If a homeowner wants to do it, and like I was saying, the facial recognition, a lot of, there's, it's rather simple, and it's not really expensive, and then there's a minimal monthly fee for stuff like that. So
going back to the termite question, do termites eat the drywall? No. Not the drywall.
They will. They, depending on the amount of available edible materials for them. Right. Sometimes they will. Sometimes they won't. We have seen where they'll come in and they'll eat the paper off of the back of it because that is a wood product. So it's possible that they do.
That would make sense. Yeah. And the explanation that was called in regarding the interior and the exterior walls. That's a pretty intuitive or whatever observation. That's pretty cool. I wouldn't have thought of that.
And most of those homes too, most of the older homes, like the historic homes down through Ocala, they're built up on piers, so they're not directly on the ground. And that's where the termites are coming from, is the ground. Not that they can't climb those piers and get up there, because they will, but it's not. Right. The termite has to work for it to get there.
So if termites in your tree,
and two, termites are typically going to go for the what's available for them first. So nowadays we've got more and more houses. We've got them built closer together. We don't have a lot of debris, left around the house. If a tree falls in our yards, we're cleaning it up. Right. Whereas in the older days, the woods, we were living in the woods. So there would have been a lot more other debris for them to gnaw, natural debris.
And I've heard that. I don't know if everybody agrees with this, and I don't even know if I do, but because I don't know enough about it. But it sounds like what we've heard. If you had a pile of wood at the farthest point in your yard, then the termites would go there for their dinner instead of your house.
Well, there would be food readily available for them. Not that they're gonna. They could have. The termites that go there might have to come through your house to get to that. They don't really
care.
So
they don't really care where they get it.
Yeah, they don't care what they're eating, just as long as it's food.
So that's the job. The job with the 4-foot water damage. That's a big one on your plate right now.
Yeah, that's one we're working on today. This morning we had tarping in the roof from that tree that fell on it, and now the guys are going out to that.
Gosh, it's never ending, huh?
We've also got the guys are on a chimney repair job where the chimney was rotted and they're cleaning up around it. So,
oh, really?
Yep.
In an old brick chimney, that kind of brick chimney?
No, this is a wood frame. It has some wood siding on it. So, but we're coming up to the end. I'm asking, one of the things that I'm doing right now is some research. I'm trying to figure out how many people out there use the computer site, the website Houzz. Houzz.
Huh.
It is a website that's available. It's an app as well that's available for homeowners to go in and look at pictures, look at designs, totally figure out what they want in their home as they're building it. And I'm seeing if it's going to be a good fit for us.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really neat...
Houzz?
Houzz.
Huh.
You can go on your computer, houzz.com, or you can download the app to your smartphones, to your iPhones, or I'm sure they have Android.
And it's to give you ideas on like design and...
There's like 700,000 pictures on there that you can go through and search whatever. If you wanted to look at bathrooms or kitchens, living rooms, outdoor living areas, anything you want, you can search related to a house. And so I'm trying to see if it's something that we're going to be able to use for us.
There was an article.
So if you have feedback on it, call me.
What's the number? Go ahead.
352-817-6574. Or you can email me, Joe at damageflorida, all spelled out, damageflorida.com.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Excellent.
Be careful out there. Don't be climbing roofs without a big mattress.
Especially with these storms that we keep getting in the afternoons. Yeah. It's can cause some damage for sure.
Well, you control it.
Try to.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.